Arsenal 4, Aston Villa 1. What a second half performance from Arsenal. Unbelievable. They show today that this is going to be a Premier League season that they can potentially win if they just carry on playing that way. Unbelievable. I've got to say, my standout candidate today for man of the match was Ødegaard. What a performance. Look, sometimes I don't rate Ødegaard with what he does. Sometimes I think he holds onto the ball for too long. But my Lord, I've come back today, returned back with a live stream after that Arsenal game. Arsenal cooked magnificently in the second half. Unbelievable. Ødegaard, my days. Wow. The passing range that he showed today was incredible. Did you see that flick over his head? Oh my Lord, towards, I think it was the fourth goal for Jesus. The build-up. Everything about Ødegaard today. Unreal. Jeez Louise. This guy, if he turns up like that for the rest of the season, then Arsenal surely have a chance of winning this title. And I've got to say it, man. The whole team in that second half cooked magnificently. Oh, well, okay. Maybe not Gyökeres. Jesus comes on, bags a goal, and Gyökeres is standing there like an absolute idiot. But the whole team... Trossard. Oh, Mr. Whippy. Bottom right corner to the left of Martinez. I tell you, the goals that we saw, I know the corner, I tell you, that led the floodgates to open for Arsenal today. The floodgates absolutely opened up. When we saw that happen in that goal, we said, okay, set piece FC, ole, all that usual business. And then, literally Noah, bang, in the middle, opening up for Arsenal to score a plethora of goals that were the build-up to all of them. Ødegaard, that through ball to Zubimendi. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. Just literally just cut through like a hot knife through butter. And I tell you, Trossard today, people are saying in the chat, U393, Trossard today, not the first half, I tell you, first half Arsenal, I'm going to say something about the first half, yeah? The first half was absolutely shocking from Arsenal, yeah? Let's just turn the ties a bit because Aston Villa were just walking through the midfield. They were walking literally from defence to the attack. Transition wasn't even quick enough. It was just literally walking pace. Obviously, Rice, we see what Rice gives to the Arsenal team in terms of that stability. When in defensive transition, Rice is the big part of Arsenal. But in the offense today, in the second half, I was mind blown. Honestly, I was gone, mate. I saw some of the attacks today and I said, their build-up on some of the goals, how they move from left to right, passing across the box. Unreal. Unreal. And obviously, the whole team today in the second half cooked. Gabriel, really, really huge standout also for a man of the match. Really kept the defense solid in the second half as well. Ødegaard amazing. Trossard amazing. Saka obviously did his usual stuff, but wasn't the absolute best out there. Trossard and Ødegaard. Zubimendi just controlling the midfield like on a pin. That's it. That's what you need, Arsenal, to win the title. Not these recent results that you've been getting. Honestly, the recent results have been, I would say, poor from Arsenal. The play hasn't been good enough. Everything about Arsenal that you're just looking at hasn't been good enough. It hasn't. And then today, the chance to beat Aston Villa, a team that is in amazing form, that beat Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge, a team that has been absolutely thriving, that beat Arsenal already, this season and has been thriving, and a team that is always notorious for giving Arsenal problems. And Arsenal come out in the second half and looked a completely different team. And it is revenge. It is. People are saying this in the chat. Absolutely revenge. Revenge after they lost. And we knew Arsenal, they had to do the job today. Because Man City, the Sharks are closing in. The Blue Sharks are closing in, and Arsenal just made a statement win there. They made a statement win that really cements their place as, okay, we've just beaten now Aston Villa, who I would say, if you look at it in terms of points-wise, they're competing for the Premier League under Emery. Emery's been doing a fantastic job with Aston Villa, barely losing any games across the Premier League season, really great in attack, and they showed in the first half what they can do, but they didn't finish their chances. I think Aston Villa and Emery would be absolutely kicking themselves. Watkins, the amount of chances he missed as well. He had a chance, a gilt-edged opportunity to put it past Raya, and he didn't do it in the first half. That would have been the kind of momentum shift that Aston Villa needed to take the game to Arsenal. But you ended up at halftime, yeah, and Arsenal come out and do a second half performance like that is absolutely mind-blowing, yeah? It shows the quality that Arsenal have in certain positions to really make amends on a horrible first half. First half was non-existent. They didn't move the ball quick enough. They were just very lethargic. Every single player in the Arsenal team were horrible. Let's just say it like that. They were absolutely trash. All of them. And then it's just like a night and day between both. Yeah? Saliba as well. But I don't know if that was offside or onside. I'm not sure. Saliba, that challenge that he made. Yeah? Godfrey, thank you for mentioning that in the chat. That challenge, even if it was offside, onside, who knows? I think it was slightly off, yeah? Unbelievable. This is why Real Madrid need a defender like Saliba, because those kind of challenges, unreal. Unreal. At those kind of moments where you make challenges that are game-saving challenges, even though he didn't know if it was offside, onside, obviously he led to a corner after that. We didn't know, yeah? As football fans, we're looking at the match and saying, we didn't know, yeah? I tell you what, I'm keeping a very, very keen eye on Arsenal, yeah? Because Champions League is there for them as well. PSG aren't doing that great at the moment. Well, they're still always going to be in contention because PSG are the reigning champs, and they're always going to be a frightening team to play in the Champions League. You have obviously Bayern Munich, you have obviously Man City, and then that's it really for the Champions League. Real Madrid and Barcelona, I don't think they're going to be touching that Champions League. Those four are really the Champions League contenders this year. And the Premier League is just Arsenal, Man City now. I think when you come to Aston Villa, I think they will be great against the smaller teams. I think that's what Aston Villa are doing. They're tucking away the smaller teams. They're really playing good also against the big teams as well, apart from today, obviously beating Arsenal already. And Aston Villa, they're competing. They are competing. Let's just call it as it is. They're competing for the Premier League. But it's always going to be Arsenal, Man City. Yeah, and it's going to be like that, I tell you, until the end of the season. You're going to see Arsenal, Man City going tic-tac-toe with each other, and it's all going to come down to literally the game that they play against each other. That's the main game. Arsenal, Man City, the game they play against each other is going to make a huge difference upon this title charge that Arsenal are trying to mount on. But, guys, honestly, yeah, Gyökeres, I've got to say it. People are mentioning in the chat about Gyökeres. I'm going to mention it right now, yeah? Gyökeres is looking really bad for you, man. I'm telling you right now. Gyökeres is looking a shadow of himself, what we saw in Portugal. But people, obviously, we know he's going to transition to the Premier League and he's not going to do the business, yeah? People are feeling bad, like Thuxiar says in the chat, and people are feeling bad. Arsenal fans may be feeling bad because they signed this player for so many millions and he's not producing the goods. I'm going to tell you right now, Jesus suits the profile more for this Arsenal team than Victor Gyökeres. That's factual, mate. We know that Jesus fits the profile. Look, Jesus needed a couple of touches to bang in a goal, mate. He's been out for such a long period of time, yeah? And then he's just recently come back into the team, so forth and so forth. But he just needed a couple of touches today, found a gap, and just banged it in the back of the net, yeah? That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at, guys. We need to see Arsenal for what they are, yeah? The team is that. That's how it's going to play out, yeah? because Saka, Jesus, and probably Trossard or Martinelli is going to be the best front three for Arsenal. That's facts. And even Havertz, exactly correct. Exactly correct. Havertz works better than Gyökeres. When Havertz works better than Gyökeres, you know you got problems, mate, yeah? Because King Kai, as the Arsenal fans will call him, yeah? That is what we're looking at. And because he knows how to play the ball off others, and he's got a bit more technique about him. Gyökeres has no technique whatsoever. Gyökeres is just a standing statue in that team. All Gyökeres does is trying to get on unto the end of supposed chances. He had a chance to head it past Martinez, and he didn't do it. It was literally right in front of him, and he couldn't steer the ball into the back of the net. This is supposed to be a number 9, supposedly, for Arsenal. They brought him in as a number 9, and it works better probably with Jesus. Gary Jesus is going to work better, and Kai Havertz is going to work better as well. Yeah? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Arsenal, the way they play football, especially in transition, is really, really frightening. When they pile bodies forward, they know when they're going to get a counter-attacking opportunity. That's what Arsenal do. They know about it, yeah? They know when the defense is so solid, they're just waiting in a certain position, and then they flood bodies forward, 5-6 bodies forward. You have Trossard there, you have even Timber overlapping, you have Hincapié overlapping on the left. You have Hincapié made an absolute blunder. It was an Ødegaard through ball to Hincapié, and Hincapié absolutely blundered. He could have made it another goal for Arsenal today, yeah? Because you have all these players, even Gyökeres for some extent, obviously. He's always going to frighten defenders because of his size and his physical presence. But if you have Jesus there, you have Trossard there, you have Saka there, you have Ødegaard in behind, Zubimendi controlling the tempo, and Declan Rice, that is a very, very solid team. Very, very solid team. And it just needs to be something where Arsenal look at this league season and saying, Man City match is going to be do or die for this team. It's Man City, mate. I'm telling you. Yeah, Man City is a huge, 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 huge match. Yeah, that is going to be the make or break for this Premier League season, because you know Man City were going to do. They're going to walk all over teams. Second half of the season especially, they go on these mad runs and you don't even see it coming. They will come from behind literally and just chase you down. That's what Man City do. Yeah, we've seen it with previous season before when Arsenal had these points gap in them. Man City come, take over, and then they win the Premier League. Yeah, is it the same this season? Who knows? We want to see Arsenal win because I feel that this title is long due to them, yeah? Their defense is great, their midfield is great, and their attack is decent enough to produce the goals, yeah? Because they share it around. They share it around each other, yeah? So it's always going to be the case of, okay, Arsenal fans in the chat, let me know, yeah? Arsenal, what are you wanting to do this season? Are you wanting to go for the Champions League or you wanted to go for the Premier League? Because I feel personally you can go for both, but there's always going to be one that you favour more. I think the Premier League has to be number one priority this season. Yeah, obviously the Carabao Cup coming up and the semi-final against Chelsea is going to be a big game to go into a final against. Obviously, the title charge is going to be Arsenal, Man City. I don't think Newcastle have enough to beat Man City, but we've seen before this season where Newcastle have beaten Man City because they have the style to do it. But Man City, Arsenal, we're looking at a Carabao Cup final. We're looking at a title difference between Arsenal, Man City, a few points maybe towards the end of the season. You probably have FA Cups in here as well, and then you also have the Champions League. I think the Premier League should be priority, yeah? Then we go for the domestic trophies. I think the UCL is going to be there, but that is going to be super difficult to win because I know you've already beaten Bayern. I know Arsenal have already beaten Bayern at home, but Bayern are going to be a different competition altogether in the knockout phases. That's different. Even a team like Real Madrid or even Barcelona could trouble you in the knockout phases. It's all about experience at certain stages, and the Arsenal players don't have that as of yet. They did reach the semi-finals. Great to them. Next time is to go one more round. And that PSG team, always going to be difficult, Luis Enrique. But Man City, they have the ability. We've seen this season already. They have the ability to scrape past games as well. They have the ability to come up clutch in certain moments. You obviously have Haaland on absolutely amazing goal-scoring form. Look, I can put a picture into you, yeah? If Haaland was at Arsenal, bro, Arsenal would walk all over this league year after year after year. If Haaland was at Arsenal, you would not even see the light of day with Arsenal. The amount of the defense and everything. We had a chat, obviously I have a chat with the guys that support Real Madrid and Barcelona. We looked at Raya's save towards the end. What a save, guys. That was reaction, point blank save. Man, I don't think he knew too much about it, but he put his body in the way and made a point blank save, yeah? Little question out there for you guys. Who's better Spanish keeper? João Garcia or David Raya? Little question out there, and then we can get back to the video, yeah? But listen, honestly, guys, what are you thinking, guys? I see a lot of people in the chat saying the Champions League is a dream, but they need to win the league. Absolutely, that's facts, mate. I think the Premier League is 100% priority for Arsenal. I don't think that the Champions League is coming too far ahead of the Premier League. I have to say it. Yeah, Raya is definitely a top 5 keeper, and we've seen it, obviously. Look at the save. Look at the save just recently. Unbelievable against Brighton. Unreal save. That is probably the best save of the season so far I've seen from any keeper in world football. Unreal, mate. Yeah? Unreal. People would say Raya, people would say João Garcia. Little quick, like, question for you guys. But let's get back onto Arsenal because, look, Saka needs to discover his form. If Saka is on full form, and Saka does the tidy things tidy, let's just call it as is. He does his stuff. He does his 6, 7 out of 10 games. That's it, really. That's all he's doing this season. He's not really producing. He's not the main star player this season. It's pretty much being shared across, or one player performs, one player does. Trossard has been absolutely sensational throughout the whole season. Trossard has been one of the main bad boys for Arsenal this season. We know Trossard, mate. This guy has got immaculate technique. Look at this guy. Didn't even need a touch, mate. Bang, Mr. Whippy, bottom right corner. Unreal from Trossard, yeah? And there are certain instances in today's game where I see, okay, so Trossard has a ball, man, he feeds it off into the middle, they work the ball, it's a goal, bro. Like, this is what we're talking about. Like, it's very quick, it's very precise, and no one can deal with it in the Premier League. No team in the Premier League can deal with this, unless it's Manchester City. I think there is only a few teams like Sunderland who were able to deal with Arsenal. And in Arsenal, I think this match is going to help them get out of this, how can I say it, this kind of average period for them where they're just scraping by the results, or they're maybe just waiting and buying their time until they get this result. Here is a chance for them to now just thrive and boost and get carrying on. Obviously, FA Cup's just around the corner. Arsenal got to play, obviously, third rounds or fourth rounds or whatever. And now is the time where it's going to get heated. So Arsenal's squad depth really needs to come out now. That's what they need to do. They need to start really just putting other players in, especially in FA Cup, the early rounds. Put players in that may not be first team, and then focus on the league and focus on the Champions League. They need to focus on both, because Champions League games round the corner as well. They have a couple of games left, obviously, until the league finishes. Arsenal are going to finish top of that Champions League group. Yeah, they're going to finish top. They're the best team in Europe at the moment. We know where they are, yeah? Man City are close to them. PSG are close to them. Bayern Munich are close to them. They've only conceded 1 goal in the Champions League. Like, what is that, man? 1 goal. One goal. That is crazy to me. I think they've only conceded, 12 goals now in the Premier League, I'm correct, yeah? They've only conceded 12 goals in the Premier League. 12. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Unbelievable. Arsenal, if they do business in January, I would say they would need to strengthen maybe the wing-back areas, I would say. Maybe a couple more defenders just to solidify that. Obviously, Hincapié has come in. We know that. They have Saliba, Gabriel at the back. The duo's back. Unbelievable that they have them back as well. Timber's great. I think they may be Miles Skelly also on the left-hand side. Decent. Right side, Ben White. Maybe someone in the midfield that can replace Rice, maybe. I don't think Ødegaard is that good, to be honest. Like, they can strengthen, they can have squad depth that can compete on all fronts. If they do really sign players this winter, then Arsenal have a very, very good chance of winning this Premier League title, I've got to say. And I'm going to say now they need maybe someone on the wings as well. Somebody that's really going to replace their players. But their squad depth is good at the moment. Obviously, Madueke, not really the best example, but Madueke has been decent enough, but he's not really a Saka replacement, is he? Martinelli, Trossard, great on the left-hand side. Gyökeres, Jesus, Kai Havertz, if he were to return. Look, the whole situation with Arsenal is that they have a good squad depth. They just need a couple of more pieces, and then they can compete. Because if they do get solid players in that midfield especially, I think they can really do damage to a lot of teams. They need someone, I would say, that is going to be just very direct in certain areas. But Eze is that kind of guy as well. Eze, the recruitment of Eze, unbelievable. I really rate Eberechi Eze. I really rate him big time. He's so cold as a player. How do you accommodate guys? How do you accommodate, though, Eze? And how do you accommodate Ødegaard as well? Like, if Ødegaard is playing, how do you accommodate both? That's the question. You maybe play Eze in the FA Cup. You maybe play Ødegaard in some certain games. Arteta is down to him now. How does Arteta really accommodate all the players certain games? I say against certain teams that maybe the defense is lying deep and Ødegaard's not the best at unlocking those doors, then maybe you put Eze, who can really just be direct, especially on counter-attacking opportunities, and really thrive and go forward. Maybe against teams that are more open, like Man City, you play like an Ødegaard who can really unlock those channels in the front and on the wings and really like dictate how the game is going to move from essentially the deeper end of the midfield to the attack as well. Like Eze, I know Eze plays on the wings, I know, but Eze also, like there are so many players that Arsenal have that really shines in their squad depth. But will this squad depth hang tight across the Champions League and the Premier League? That's the main question. Can it really go across all the competitions? And I see Arsenal as a team that can compete in all fronts, but will they? Will Arteta sacrifice a competition to really favour another? We saw the turmoil they had in that Carabao Cup clash, the quarter-final against Palace. There was an absolute turmoil in the second half. Glasner came out and the team were firing, yeah? But not firing in terms of goals. They obviously scored the equaliser that allowed them to go to penalties, but they were really sometimes on the front foot, really causing Arsenal problems. That is the issue that I have. Carabao Cup, is it going to be sacrificed? I think Arsenal should go and win the Carabao Cup. I would say semi-finals, especially against Chelsea. Look, play both legs with the strongest team that you have. Win that Carabao Cup, and then start competing for your Premier Leagues and your FA Cups and your Champions Leagues. It's a must win, that Carabao Cup. I'm telling you right now, it gives teams huge momentum boosts. I know this as a Real Madrid fan. The Super Cup in Spain gives huge momentum boost to a team, especially mid-season. Yeah, they start going on mad runs. You can see Real Madrid, and when they last won the Super Cup, it's exactly the same as that. Yeah, exactly the same. So we know that Carabao Cup is going to be huge. Yeah, huge. So they need to go and actually do the business at Chelsea. That's going to be a big game because Chelsea last time against Arsenal, a 10-man Chelsea outplayed Arsenal left, right, and centre across the pitch. 10-man Chelsea, and Chelsea are going to be up for the game, 100%. I don't think Chelsea are out of the title, not title race. I'm talking about out of the whole equation of Premier League. But they're too many far points behind. How many points are there? 15 points behind Arsenal. It's impossible, man. Impossible to catch that gap. It's only Man City, yeah, and Aston Villa who can, but Aston Villa are out of it now, yeah. It's done, yeah. Man City, Arsenal, that's it. Liverpool are too far gone. Chelsea are too far gone, and Man United are never going to be there, yeah. So this is Arsenal and Man City's title race. Arsenal need to beat Man City. They need to beat them. So if we're looking at that match, yeah, it's coming up, yeah, towards the end of the season, the business end of the season. The last 6 to 10 games is a huge business end, yeah. Arsenal, if you look at Arsenal's fixture, Man City's fixture, Man City, Arsenal, that tie at the Etihad is going to be so crucial. Then they got Burnley away, Everton away. They got some tough matches. Bournemouth away is going to be really tough for Man City. Aston Villa is going to be a really tough game, last game of the season as well. Yeah, Arsenal. Yeah, if I look at Arsenal's games, Arsenal last 6 games: Bournemouth at home, Man City away. Newcastle at home, that's going to be a tough game. Even Newcastle are always going to be a difficult obstacle regardless for Arsenal. We know the problems they face. Arsenal, Fulham, West Ham away should beat. Burnley at home, they should beat. And Crystal Palace away, that's going to be a tough game, yeah? Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal away, Everton. They have good run of games. They have really, really good run of games, Arsenal. We need to look at it as is. And that North London derby as well, Tottenham, at February, it's going to be a tough one to navigate. I think Arsenal will walk the floor with Tottenham. I'm going to be honest. Even in that North London derby away. So, it is going to be a very, very crucial ending to the season. So, Arsenal, get your job done early. Get this whole January out the way, yeah? Next match is going to be Bournemouth away. This is going to be one of the toughest games that Arsenal are going to have to face because Bournemouth play decent football. I know Bournemouth are not the state they should be in, but Bournemouth play decent football, yeah? Liverpool, yeah? They need to get revenge on Liverpool. That 1-0 loss against Liverpool, that Szoboszlai free kick, that was pretty much at the beginning of the season, that was a killer to Arsenal, yeah? A killer, yeah? It's crazy, yeah? Chelsea, obviously, yeah, for Cup with the Carabao Cup. Nottingham Forest away, another tough game. Another tough game, yeah? Inter away. That is going to be a crucial game in the Champions League, of course, because Arsenal want to finish top of that group, yeah? They have hella games to navigate, yeah? Hella games to navigate, yeah? And then Kairat, they're going to batter them all over the place, yeah? But Inter away, then Man United. Man United, we know Man United's story with Arsenal. Man United they always turn up against Arsenal. Doesn't matter if it's Amorim in charge. Doesn't matter if I'm in charge, yeah? Doesn't matter if Saeed's in charge, bro. Man United will turn up against Arsenal, yeah? They will, yeah? Then you got Leeds away, going to be a tough game. Sunderland at home, Brentford away is going to be a tough game. They got 3 London derbies back-to-back, yeah? Brentford, Tottenham, and Chelsea. 3 back-to-back. Navigation settings. Arsenal need to do the business big time. This whole January, yeah, is going to be clutch for Arsenal because that Carabao Cup, that whole Bournemouth match, that Liverpool match, the Portsmouth game, FA Cup. Okay, guys, yeah, let me put a question to you in the chat. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, let me know. Okay. Would you sacrifice that game against Bournemouth just to have less games in the year so you can give your players a rest? Would you sacrifice the game against Bournemouth? I think Portsmouth, would Arsenal field a very, very weak side and say, okay, FA Cup is not a priority this season? Would you want that as Arsenal fans? Would you go and favour the bigger competitions that you can potentially win to knock yourself out of the FA Cup? That's a possibility. You never know what Arteta's thinking because you've done it before, yeah? But this season, they have the squad depth to do it. They can play a second-string side and beat Portsmouth away. They can beat a Portsmouth away with a second-string side. They do not need to play a first-string team against Portsmouth. You can see Madueke, Jesus, and probably, I don't know, Trossard maybe on the left-hand side or whoever, Eze on the left-hand side maybe, to beat Portsmouth. Yeah? It's crazy, man. Yeah, so we need to look at it and say, can Arsenal really win the Premier League this season? Yes, they can. But this January is going to be super crucial to their title charge. Super crucial. Yeah? You really need to understand how crucial this January is. This navigation route is mind-blowing, yeah? With Bournemouth away, Liverpool, Portsmouth away, FA Cup, see what you do there. And then the Carabao Cup semi-final. How many games you got in January? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 games in January, guys. 9 games in January. Absolutely crazy, man. Yeah? 9 games is a lot in one singular month to deal with. Yeah? One singular month, and we've got to see Arsenal. If they navigate this January, I tell you what, I would rate them as true title contenders because we're going to see Man City's games as well. We're going to see Arsenal's games and see how all of them fit together. And hopefully we'll see, if we can see it, maybe Arsenal will end up the top of the Champions League group with very limited goals. That Inter game is going to be super crucial as well to that. Yeah? Crazy, man. Yeah? Who said Turkey's a scrub? I don't know what you're looking at as football, but Turkey's definitely not a scrub, mate. Turkey's one of the best players in the Premier League at the moment. Really, really good. Just amazing technique on so many levels. Turkey's amazing. Amazing footballer. But guys, honestly, what did you think of the match today? Unbelievable. Great performance from Arsenal. Just a superb display. Superb, yeah? Display from Arsenal today. And yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. But guys, we're going to redirect, yeah? We're going to redirect to, let's see who's live. We're going to redirect to a Northside, yeah? Who's doing the Northside, or is it Lee Gunner? That's Lee Gunner. Where's Northside's one? 1040. 1040. We're going to redirect to Northside, guys, yeah? Make sure you show up love in the chat. Put end the stream, Dave. We're going to redirect to Northside. Big up Northside. Obviously moved to Barcelona. Big up. But you moved to the wrong city, mate. Madrid it should have been. But guys, take care. Adios, yeah? And amazing. Guys, let me just get a few comments before we log off, yeah? Real Madrid always show up during spring. It's true. Unbelievable. You think they're going to win with Mbappe with only getting goals? We're not talking about Real Madrid here, people. We're talking about Arsenal. So, guys.